A very warm good morning to everyone who has taken times out of their lives to join us for this very insightful webinar, Mind Matters, Creating Emotional Resilience. Now, in today's world, young people are surrounded by constant pressure. There's pressure to score well, pressure to look a certain way, pressure to keep up with others on social media, and whatnot. Now, with so much comparison and competition around us, taking care of our emotional well-being has become not just important but highly essential. Now, as a class 12 student like myself who is preparing for one of the most difficult competitive exams out there, at times also craves a lot of emotional support. Now, this obviously includes long study hours, fear of failure, constant comparison with peers, and the pressure of expectations that often leads to anxiety, sleeplessness, irritability, and a lot of self-doubt. Now, for a fact, there are many students who start disconnecting from their friends. They start losing their hobbies, they feel guilty whenever they're not studying, and whatnot. Now, this highlights how important it is for each one of us to inculcate habits in our lives that can ensure emotional stability for utmost focus and discipline in life. Now, when students learn how to manage their time better, set realistic goals, talk openly about their stress, take breaks without any guilt, and seek guidance when needed, along with adding healthy physical activities in their day to day lives, they start coping more effectively. Now, this is exactly why we have today's webinar. The awareness, tools, and the confidence to handle academic challenges, social pressure, and personal struggle in a very healthy way. And of course, to guide us through with this, we have our highly qualified and experienced panelists. We are honored to have with us Dr. Vikas Sharma, Associate Professor and Head at Sri Guru Gobind Singh Tricentenary University. He is a distinguished leader in the field of clinical psychology and mental health education. Now, with years of experience in guiding students, training counselors, Dr. Sharma continues to shape how young people understand their emotions. We are truly grateful to have him share his expertise with us today. Next up, joining us, we have Ms. Mahua Ghosh, the Vice Principal of Birla Gyan Mandir, an educationist deeply committed to nurturing emotionally intelligent and empathetic school environments. Now, with her extensive experience in academic leadership and student development, she has helped transform classroom cultures into supportive spaces for young minds. We sincerely appreciate her presence and insights today. Now, we also welcome Mr. Jitendra Joshi, a dynamic sports management professional who strongly believes that mental health, mental strength, resilience, and teamwork form the foundation of success, both on and off field. Now, with years of experience mentoring young athletes and managing high performance teams, he brings a powerful perspective on discipline and emotional fitness. We are thankful to have him with us for this discussion. Now, and finally, we have with us Ms. Shreya Malhotra, an experienced counseling psychologist who closely works with teenagers and young adults, helping them navigate stress, self exploration, and emotional balance. Her compassionate approach and hands on experience in youth mental health make her a valuable voice on this panel. We deeply appreciate her joining us today. Now, without wasting any time further, let's start with our discussion now. The first segment that we will be covering is understanding emotional resilience. This is, of course, the topic for our webinar today, and let's jump into it and see what it exactly means. Now, to help us get a deeper understanding about what emotional resilience actually means, we have with us Dr. Vikas Sharma, followed by Ms. Shreya Malhotra. So, Dr. Vikas Sharma, are you with us? So, you're not audible. I think Dr. Sharma might be facing some issues with it. So let's move on to Ms. Shreya Malhotra. Ms. Malhotra, do we have you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. So
First
very
of all,
pleased.
yeah, sorry, you were saying something?
No. I was just saying we're very pleased to have you here.
Yeah. First of all, Diya, thank you for the warm introduction. It's truly a pleasure to be here today. And I really hope that today's discussion gives students a sense of clarity, comfort, and probably some tools they can use in their daily lives. I think When we begin by talking about emotional resilience, we would, of course, like to first understand what it really means. And it is as simple as understanding that it is our ability to really bounce back from the stress, the challenges, the setbacks that we face in our lives, because as humans, we are bound to face setbacks. It is just our ability, it is just our um, focus on how we can actually bounce back from them. And it's really important to note here that this means not by ignoring our emotions, but by understanding the emotions and really finding our way to balance those emotions. It does not mean staying positive all the time at all. It does not mean that we will not get overwhelmed at all. It just simply means that even when things get difficult, we we have the skills to pause, understand our emotions, balance them, think clearly, and then probably take the next step. Like,
Absolutely. I think that makes our audience very clear about what emotional resilience actually is. That was about to be my very first question to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So to proceed, I'd like to ask you, since you have worked a lot closely, with young adults, teenagers like myself, do you mind telling our audience what are some common emotional struggles that they face today?
um, I think I lost your voice in between.
Okay, I'll just repeat the question. Now, since I was saying that since you work very closely with young adults and teenagers like myself, do you mind telling our audience about some common emotional struggles that they face today?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. It's really important. So, honestly, when I work with young adults, the first thing that I notice is just how much they are really carrying inside and how little space they feel they have around them to talk about it. Many of them really struggle a lot with anxiety, self doubt, and feeling like they are falling behind. There's always this fear of not being good enough in the society, not being productive enough, or really not matching to what others seem to be doing. And social media has a really, really big role to play here today. We are constantly comparing our daily life with other people online, and this comparison impacts our confidence and majorly then our emotional stability as well. Another thing that I've also seen young adults facing a lot nowadays is emotional overwhelm. uh, they are actually juggling a lot of things together: academics, internships, there are expectations at home, then there is friendships, peer pressures. And I also have a lot of clients say that, I feel tired even if I've not done anything productive. But we don't realize that even if we are not doing anything, the mind is constantly thinking, the mind is constantly working, and it is running about something here or something there. And when we are not taking out time to really sit down and pause and check in with what's happening with our emotions, all of this constantly then leads to the emotional overwhelm and emotional burnout. So that is also very, very common that I've been seeing nowadays in young adults. Um, One more thing that I feel has been really common is loneliness. And even when we are surrounded by people, interestingly, despite being more connected online than ever, all thanks to social media, young adults still frequently really describe feeling disconnected or lonely. All of these superficial digital interactions, they're really replacing meaningful relationships. So, for example, a student might have a big group of friends, but in that group of friends as well, they cannot really talk to anyone about how they truly feel. What are they truly going through in their lives? And when you're not really able to show up as you are, it really becomes like we are performing from day to night. And when we are keeping a mask in front of all the people, eventually that person behind the mask would end up feeling lonely. So All of this, again, I would say adds up to the emotional overwhelm. But I would
Absolutely.
one thing I would also like to add here is that I really find this generation to be very self aware and insightful. It is just how we as societies sometimes lack the compassionate spaces for them to understand their emotions and to feel supported rather than being pressured.
Exactly. So everything that you just mentioned right now, I am able to relate with every single point. Specifically because of the onset of social media, the constant comparison. Ki, oh, this person has achieved so much, yet I'm here doing nothing. Even if I'm trying to do it, there's no way I'm able to manage my time properly, or it's always there. Some or the other thing going on in my mind. Most of
Yeah.
the time it's negative, like why am I not able to do as much as she is doing or he is doing, so there's constant comparison. And I believe social media definitely has a big role in doing that. And oftentimes I feel very guilty if I'm perhaps pursuing my hobbies and not studying. I feel like, oh, maybe am I jeopardizing my future? What if I score less? What if all of this is a waste of time? So of course that becomes very overwhelming for me as well. And all the points that you mentioned, I'm pretty sure all most of the people attending this webinar will be able to relate with. And this frames my next question to you. Like, how do
Hello, hello. Am I audible now, Diya?
yes, Dr. Vikas, you're audible.
Okay, I am really sorry. Actually, there was some technical glitch, Diya. And good morning, everyone. The esteemed panelist, Shreya ji, Jitendra ji, Mahua ma'am, and I would like to thank ASM for conducting this very useful webinar and inviting me to be part of this esteemed panel.
So it's an
Thank you
honor
so
that
much.
you joined, sir. Thank you so much. Well, you can see in case you can have your video on, sir. That would be great too.
Yes, yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, yeah, so whatever I said prior to that, that brings me to my next question to you. Whenever students are feeling very guilty or weak when they're very overwhelmed, so is there any way that they can reframe that mindset that if I am doing something I like and it's not related to my academics or something that will bring me close to achieving some particular thing, it's not bad? Is there any way that we can reframe that mindset?
Mhm. So basically, let me just understand this question once. Is that what you are asking is whenever students feel guilty, uh, they f- and over or weak whenever they are feeling overwhelmed, and how we can really work on that mindset, how the students can work on that mindset.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just to add one point there, I'm going to take a entrepreneurial example. When I quit my job in the US, came back to start the sports company, and like any entrepreneur, there are ups and downs, right? So you come to a lot of points where you feel, why am I doing this? I had a great job. Why did I quit everything and start this? Because you are facing cash flow problems, customer is not paying on time, all these issues are there. It is in this point, if you are able to step back, detach yourself from that emotional turmoil that you're going through, and take a step back and tell yourself, you wanted to be an entrepreneur, tujhe karna tha ye, now going your, and this is part of the journey, so you better accept it and move on. These things, these ups and downs will keep coming, and you wanted it. That is where the purpose, clarity of purpose helps, to be able to say that, okay, I wanted it. 70% of the whatever you are trying to do, 70% will be something which you hate doing, but it is for the remaining 30% joy that you will find that inner strength, the resilience to handle that.
Great example, sir. Actually, very great. So it's basically all about, it teaches us having a very clear mindset towards what we want. You know, the thing that you mentioned, it's for the 30% that we end up doing the 70% of the things that we hate. It's a brilliant example. Thank you so much. And this brings me to my next question, which is to Miss Mahua.
There's there's one question by Anubhav, maybe to Shreya. If you can read that on in the chat box, or maybe I can just read it out. So there's this gentleman, young boy called Anubhav, and he's asking the main question to Shreya ma'am. Currently, I am in 12th standard. I live in Gurgaon, and I went to prepare for my JEE in the beginning of my 11th. I came back in mid 12 because of my medical and mental health. 11th was super fine, but in 12th I was so alone. I was alone, so that loneliness scared me. I still survived 6 months there and then came back. Now I'm doing self study, but nowadays I don't feel like studying. A lot of negativity is in my mind, which is killing my mental strength, discipline, and making me feel guilty. Please share a solution for a good comeback. So I think this is a very apt question, Shreya. And my request to you will be, while you answer it, maybe number, so the students who can't who do not want to ask questions over here, they can at least call you up in peace and they can discuss things with you. I'm so glad that this question was asked. Anubhav, you have support from all of us. Things will be fine. Don't worry. And Shreya ma'am is going to just explain the things to you.
Yes, sir. I'll absolutely add my email ID actually, and I'll try if I can add my number also there. But before that, I think Anubhav, thank you for sharing this so honestly. What you've gone through is really not small. Shifting places, dealing with loneliness, medical issues, mental health concerns, and then now you're trying to study on your own. This is a lot of stress and a lot to handle for anyone at your age. But I just want you to know that I can see that there is a lot of exhaustion also in your words, and sometimes exhaustion looks very similar to lack of motivation, but it's not really that. What can actually help you now is, since there is a lot of negativity, and usually when we try to, a lot of overthinking happens in that moment only. So what helps and what can help is, before studying, have a minute, or let's say 5 minutes, to just dump all your thoughts onto a paper, or if you have a journal, which can be your notebook where you can write anything, to just dump all that thoughts into that notebook. Then go back to, after that 5 minutes, go back for focus study, which just involves taking out 15 or 20 minutes, that's it, so that you can get back into the habit of studying first. As Mr. Joshi has mentioned a lot of times, that it's about starting and not completing it totally. So just start with those 15 to 20 minutes and then take a break for another 10 minutes. Then go back, let's say for again 15, 20 minutes. Then slowly try to increase that timing. It will help you build the momentum again of studying. It's always about building that small moments of starting again. And now that you are studying on your own, it's also important to build a routine, but keep it very simple, not a strict one that you have to study for 2 hours, wake up at 6, then study for 2 hours, but keep it very simple. Maybe wake up, freshen up, then study for some time. Then always involve things that help you lighten up, which can be going for a short walk. Let's say go for a walk if you have a park, or just near your area, anywhere. Go for some sunlight. It's winters. If you are in Delhi, I'm not sure where you are from, but if you're from a place in India where there are winters, I think winter sun is going to be amazing. Then um, try to add these small breaks where it involves something that you like. It can be listening to music, it can be just stretching yourself, stretching your body. And also, it's very important to talk to someone that you trust. Uh, it can be a parent, it can, if you trust your parents, or it can be a friend as well, and just sharing what you are going through. A lot of times when we share, it reduces the mental pressure. So loneliness can also feel a little bit lighter when it's spoken. Um, yeah, that will be something that I feel can help you come back. Also, just remember that comebacks happen slowly. Discipline does not come like overnight. Just focus on showing up, even for it is if it is for a small time or small moments as well. I think Mr. Joshi has something to add here.
Yeah.
Yeah, only after you're done, Shreya.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. I have a very small point to add, Diya. Here, I just want to give you one example of how Mr. Attapattu, who was, I don't know how much cricket you follow, but Attapattu was one of the openers of Sri Lankan cricket team. Okay, so when he was young, just like you, very dynamic, showed tremendous promise as a youngster, and he was called into Sri Lankan cricket team. So he played his first test match, scored zero, both the innings zero. But again they were again next test match he was asked to play. Again he made zero in both the test matches. So now he has 4 ducks, 4 0 0 0 scores. Now he was asked to, because maybe he was youngster, this series was not right, he was asked, and then someone was replaced. So he went back, he focused. What all he did was he focused in his ability. Since you just a year back you had dreamt of going after IIT, tells me that you are very capable student who wants to take up something like this. Similarly for Attapattu, he went back, focused, saying that okay, I am good enough, but he didn't worry, he didn't think too much about the future. Just built a simple process, like Shreya mentioned, just showing up, following a simple process. Create a process for yourself and just stick to that. Now this Attapattu guy came back, again scored. He was called into the team after 2 years, again scored zero in both the innings. So now he has 6 ducks, 6 zeros after coming into the Sri Lankan national team for 2 years. He again went back, again focused on the process. And he once after that, he came back, he scored multiple centuries. He became one of the greatest cricketers in Sri Lankan openers to have played cricket for Sri Lanka. So he didn't give up. He trusted himself in himself, gave, focused on the process, and just showed up. That's all he did. He didn't worry about whether I am going to play cricket again or not. It is so easy for him to have started something 3 years down the line, played for 3 times, scored ducks every time. It is so easy to give up. No, but he didn't. And I think there is a story, and for all of us to gain something from this story, that don't give up, believe in the process, things will happen, positive things will happen. Back to you, Diya.
Yes, those were actually some amazing insights. And Anubhav, I hope that your query has been answered, which I believe it has very well. It's just that please do not lose hope. Whatever the negativity it is that you are facing, just know that if you decide to show up, I think you have completed one very major part of your process of studying and everything, right? So be consistent and just know that there are a lot of good things waiting for you ahead. And I really hope that it has helped you. So let's begin with the questionnaire again. My question goes back to Miss Mahua now. It is that in this highly competitive and digital world, students, they often they start comparing themselves to others. How can schools help children to focus on self-worth instead of comparison? Because I believe when Mr. Joshi told us about how it can actually kill one's inner motivation and discipline if they start comparing themselves to other, because that is not what teamwork is about, right? So at school level, when it comes to implementation, how can schools help children to do that, to encourage them to not compare themselves to other, and that they are self-sufficient, to realize their self-worth?
Okay, just to stop comparison, what one should focus at is the attempt, like how much the child is working on something rather than the result. So if somebody is focusing constantly on the final result, then this comparison is going to come. So what I feel is that one should never think, yes, result, definitely we all are seeking the result, but then one small step towards that process. And the teacher, we definitely need to appreciate the children, that as the students are trying to achieve something, so it is like personal growth which matters, not competition or how much my friends, my peers have scored right at the moment. So if I'm learning my lesson, if I'm having some knowledge inside me from the lesson I've learned, then that works. So all this matters in the sense that in the classroom there should be a good support system, that wherever the child is getting stuck should always be free to ask the teacher or come to us. Or we can, if the situation is very grave, that there is some major problem, then what we do is speak to the parents, try to sort out whatever issues is there with the children. So in that case, just always there should be some encouragement on whatever the child is trying to do. And that's also one. If one is always focusing towards the success, that I want to do this, I want to win. So taking part in the game itself is enough. And another thing I would like to mention is, there are you must have done in your school itself. There are group projects. So when the teacher gives a group project and there are small groups or there are few children involved in each part of the project, they're collectively working and ultimately a wonderful result comes out. So if these types of giving these types of projects or these types of work where students are having their different roles and they are just collectively coming up with the outcome. So there that children are brought together, and then competition, it becomes more like, that peer competition becomes less. And also we teach the students that appreciate others, appreciate your peers, and every small thing, every small step towards the goal, that is always appreciated. So that I feel the children are getting less pressure. And then of course, as Jitendra sir has mentioned, that sports, games and sports, that is a way to free the mind. Just we have to get our mind free before we do anything actually. And what also I say to my children is, when you're overwhelmed, when you're confused, take a break. It's okay to take a break. If there are some negative emotions, it's okay to feel, just feel your feelings. It's okay, we are human beings. So once we are done with the feeling and the mind is calmed down, so the negative thoughts are gone, that I scored less, he scored better. So that feeling becomes less. Okay, my friends did well, and I'm very happy about that. So empathy. Empathy is a thing that every child, every person needs to have actually. And resilience means I'm just trying to do something, but there's a failure. So the mind should be ready to bounce back and start over all over again. This happens with a good support system. As Shreya ma'am is there are psychologists, psychiatrists in every school nowadays. So when a child is getting stuck somewhere, always a support system is required. Because see, once grown up children like you all know that uh, how to come out of your small struggles. Definitely you'll be requiring help, everybody requires help, but you can deal with your smaller struggles yourself. But for the younger children, so they would be requiring more support of the class teacher, the counselor and the parents also. So I believe these are the ways by which this competition thing could be changed. It is necessary, but steps towards the competition is something that is to be encouraged.
Absolutely, ma'am. You know, the thing you said about feel your feelings, it aligns with the mindset of Shreya, ma'am, wherein yesterday she told us that it's okay to feel.
It's okay
You
to
know,
feel, okay to be hurt, okay to be angry. So we don't have to dump everything inside. Then that is really bad. That's a red signal.
absolutely, ma'am. So this is quite relatable for me as well because usually, specifically when you're studying for competitive exams, you are very result oriented.
Yeah.
That you become very competitive. That no, I need to score more than the other person, and because of that, most of the time you're unable to see the progress that you've made. Like you have definitely learned a lot after the last exam that you gave, right? So that mindset is a little hard to
Yeah.
achieve, but now that I know it's the small steps that you need to reward yourself for is what is important.
Yeah.
It's not about chasing
Take a deep breath.
success.
If there is mind fogging, just we get so much bored sometimes. Just take a break. Just go out for a walk,
Absolutely.
and inculcate some hobbies. Just do something that you really like doing. It could be music, it could be some games and sports, just 5 minutes break. And as Shreya ma'am also mentioned, that it won't be hours of studies. Just 20 minutes study, 5 minutes break, again 20 minutes study. Because, Shreya, our mind, like, we can't focus for long. Even we adults can't focus for long. We just need to shift our mind somewhere else so that we can start afresh, start back from where we left. So we need to understand that. Just be good to yourself. That is all I can say.
Absolutely. Wonderful insights,
Madam,
ma'am.
Madam, I was listening to all the speakers. If you allow me, I can share few lines. You first finish off with your this thing, speakers. Then, if time is there, then few lines I can share.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Madam, at an opportune time, we will like to hear you, but let this round finish off, and then maybe we
Okay,
would be
sure,
glad
sure.
to invite you.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Diya,
And I, yes, sir.
Yeah,
ju-
yeah. I
just
think it's important that we hear all the this thing. So please feel free to write whatever you want in the chat box. Hmm. And we will definitely, dear, we will definitely like to invite Madam Banerjee and hear what she has
Yes.
to say at the end of it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I believe there are two questions in the chat box by Mr. B. Sai Kumar and Mr. George. Please write who you would like to ask this question to, and then we'll address it. And I believe Mr. Joshi had something to say.
yeah, I just wanted to add to what Ms. Ghosh said. It is important for see 2 points, right? One point was comparing with your competitors or colleagues, whatever you want to call them, and other is to focus on the goals. Like Diya, you mentioned that I have to pass this and I have to do better than them. So fixation on the end result. So 2 points there. One, it is if we start realizing, that's again athlete's mindset. If we start realizing that at that moment, if I am losing energy or getting distracted because of the fixation on the goal or how the other person is doing, the task that you are doing, you will be working at an efficiency of 70% and not 100%. And you need 100% to reach your goal or to beat your competitor. So it is a loss. We have to realize that the moment I start comparing or get fixated to the goal, I am becoming inefficient. That realization is important. And the moment I become inefficient, I am anyway not going to reach my goal or beat my competitor. So it is in your interest to make sure that you're somehow keeping that thoughts away. And Djokovic said that beautifully, staying in the present. It is not that biggest athletes or great sadhus or any great CEOs are not are able to stay themselves in the staying in the present all the time, but they are aware that the moment the mind goes here and there, they are able to pull that back. That strength, and that is a function of practice. You will go here and there, you will start comparing with your colleagues or get fixated on, yeah, my goal, yeah, I will be able to do this or not. That thought will come, But through practice, you will be able to shorten the time of getting back from that spot to the living in the present. That is practice. And that is why athletes train themselves for thousands of hours for a 1 hour game. Because in that moment, they require that ability to pull the mind back and stay in the present. That's all I wanted to add.
Absolutely, sir. So what I can interpret from this is that to know one's self-worth, it is very important to work on oneself. If you want to be 100% efficient, then you have to give the time and effort into improving yourself and not care about what anybody else has to say on that, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
I
it
would
could
like to
be
add something more. May I? Okay,
absolutely,
so
ma'am,
I
please.
strongly agree to what Jitendra sir has said. Now, there's a term. It is called growth mindset. So this is the term we frequently use. So we are trainable. Now, at your case, other children, those who are preparing for some competitive, definitely you have come up to a level, and then you're going for you're trying to try for higher. But for any child, for any person, like one should always believe that we all are trainable. Right now, I may not be able to score the best, but then it is a practice. We have to keep on trying. The failures are these are opportunities for succeeding, just teaching us a lesson, then keep on trying. So this growth mindset, if it is there with the students, is there with everyone, then it's okay, fine. I'm not the best right now, but I can definitely do. And focusing on others, it will not help us. So focus is on us.
Absolutely. Great insights, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I believe there's a question that has popped up for you.
I think there's something again. Diya is going to come back, and I'll just read out the question, and maybe I can ask Madam Shreya to take it up.
Yeah.
Uh, or anyone of you.
Yeah. I
We'll
think
keep it short. How do
George
we
has
stay
spoken of.
motivated when repeated failures happen? How do you find someone you can be open with? So, Jitendra sir,
Yeah,
I think.
I think Shreya is much more qualified to answer. How do you find someone you can be open with? Shreya, if you can take it up, it will be nice.
Yeah. I think I'll start with this question only, how to find
Yeah,
someone you can open up with, then I'll
yeah,
go to the another one. I think uh, to find someone who you can be open with involves a lot about how you feel around them, how safe you feel around them, how safe your body feels around them, how emotionally safe you feel around them. And I feel three things matter a lot here. First is that you feel understood and not really judged. Now, here you can ask yourself questions like that: do they listen to me? Do I feel they are not dismissing my feelings? Do I feel that they are accepting my feelings? Are they making about themselves, or are they listening to what I am saying? So when we have a space where we can listen, where we feel listened, I think that is one of the things which is very important. Another thing is where to notice how your body is feeling around them. So when we are around people who we feel safe with, our body feels light. Our chest is not pounding. Our head is not aching, or very simply, like our legs are not, moving. We are relaxed. We find our breathing a little bit easier. We are laughing. We are just being ourselves. So this is the second point where you can notice that my body is feeling safe with them. Third, I would say someone who respects your boundaries. Now, it just means that a safe space is someone who won't force you to share what you want, but they would give you the space to move at your own speed to share with them. They will not say that you will have to share and things like that. They respect the fact that you have your own choice to take your own time to trust them. They just allow you to be confused, emotional, sometimes quiet, without making you feel bad about it. And a lot of times, we don't need a lot of people around us. We just need two, three supportive people who we feel safe with. And it can be anyone, it can be a friend, it can be a cousin, sometimes siblings, sometimes mentors, um, even a counselor for that fact. And a lot of times it's teachers as well. So it's important that we first start sharing small with them and then we see how that person handles it. If it's with kindness, empathy, respect, we can slowly, our body itself tries to slowly, loves to open up with them slowly, and it becomes a safe space for us. Yeah, that will be my point here.
Yeah, Mr. Joshi, if you want to add on to this, and Diya, are you back? I think she is back.
Yes, I apologize. I believe there's
No,
some
no, no, it's
network
perfectly all
problem.
right. No, no.
Yeah, I
I-
have joined through my phone and I'm trying to reconnect it via PC. And I hope the question that was asked has been answered.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
George's question has been answered, and I think it was very comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
The second question was, how do we stay motivated when repeated failures happen?
Yes.
I can take a stab at it.
But the cricket
Definitely.
example you said, what was in his mind? How did he come back with so many zeros and then became? I know he was one of the greatest cricketers. It's a very very apt example, and we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. So, question is, how do we stay motivated when repeated failures happen? So, my 2 points to that is, one, I think, if we can take a step back and change the way we look at failures, right? uh, we look at failures from a very negative point of view. I think, if again, it's a function of practice, and it is, you can train yourself to change your relationship with failure, correct? We need to come to a point where we need to realize that these failures are one, it is a stepping stone towards what you're trying to reach. Nobody in this world has not faced those failures before they have reached whatever they are trying to accomplish. So it's just a stepping stone. I think we have read this many a times, but we are not taken time to absorb what it actually means. And it is something which can be developed through practice and training our relationship with that. Second is to, mental switch of, this failure is not me, this failure is not defining me. I think that mental switch is a very important switch. And if you go back in your life and see 100,000 things that you have done successfully, you should be able to, you can listen to people, but actually the mental switch happens inside, and it's not very difficult if you just try to think and mull over it, spend some time on it, that this failure is not defining me. Now, once you try to be in that state, other advice which, again, I'll give my favorite athlete's mindset example. It is about breaking down the bigger thing into smaller chunks, and making sure that the chunk is small enough that you get small wins, which is what brings the motivation, which, because the consistency happens when you do small things consistently, regularly, doable things. You will gain confidence, you will start believing that you can conquer that failure, right? One is the fear of failure, and other is, if you have failed to manage that failure. Both are important for us to handle and get a grip on. So once you have broken it down, it is about believing in the process, not looking way ahead, looking at the next day, next minute, and just executing what the task is at hand, trusting that this process will eventually get me where I'm supposed to be, or where I want to get to. That's it there, I think.
Yeah. So till the time Diya comes back, I'll.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You're audible.
Yes, I apologize from my end because I don't think I'll be able to turn my webcam on for a minute or two. I'll do it as soon as I can. And I believe that the questions have been answered very well. I joined a little late, so I could not hear all of it. But how much ever I heard from Mr. Joshi, I believe the questions have been answered pretty greatly. Hope that really helps to the audience. And there have been a few more questions that have popped up. One is directed to Ms. Ghosh by Ms. Barnali Das. Is that how can we inculcate the growth mindset among the students who are in illusion that they already have everything they want in the world?
How to inculcate the growth mindset? Who is already having everything they want? Sorry, could you repeat the question once more?
Yeah, so basically the question is that there are certain students who are in an illusion that they are already very perfect, and that they have already achieved whatever.
See, unless we want to achieve something, we won't achieve. That is very, very final. You want to have it. So a child who is thinking that I am perfect, so that means he thinks that he doesn't need to learn anything. So how could you teach a person, isn't it? So firstly, the child himself or herself has to realize that I'm not perfect, because a person cannot be perfect in everything. So if a child already thinks that I'm perfect, I know everything, so in that case, unless the child is willing, unless somebody is willing, how could you change anything? Is it the question?
Right.
What do you feel?
Because the question is that yes, even though they should be open to change and everything, but is there anything that teachers or maybe their family members could do so that they can inculcate this mindset among them, encourage them to do that? Is there anything they can do from their end?
Yes, this growth mindset, that means what? That it is growth mindset itself is related to things that there are failures. Children, those who are not able to perform well or do something well. So growth mindset is they must be given some encouragement, or they should feel that if I want to score some better or do anything better, so it will always come with the practice. So it's very hard to say. If a person thinks that I'm perfect, I know everything, then in that case, bringing any change in that person is difficult, because somebody has to want to, that I want some changes in myself. Then only I believe the change could be incorporated. And for a parent, well, talking to the child in individually, like these are, because the parents and the teachers in a very calm manner could say that, see, these are your drawbacks and you need some improvement in these aspects, because you're not perfect. None of us, we are perfect. So firstly, the person needs to realize that I'm not perfect in everything, and then that growth mindset, it comes.
Madam Ghosh, I
Absolutely.
think it will also be with exposure, because if a person is exposed to various things,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that case, the
definitely,
person will
definitely.
know that, yeah, there is a room
Yeah.
for improvement.
So
Only
I'm
when
not
you enter a
perfect.
room, then you can see the ceiling. And when you
Yeah,
enter a bigger room, you'll see a bigger, higher ceiling. And
exactly.
then the growth mindset will come. I think is my understanding
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the classroom there are many children. So if somebody, if the person is good in everything or comes first, and then also the child must be having a lot of drawbacks. So firstly, this proud attitude, this is not going to help anyone. So the child has to find out that what are the problems that they are there, and definitely the teachers are there, then the parents are there. So whatever, wherever the child is lagging or lacking, that should very well come ahead before any changes or if any reform has to be brought about.
Can I add to that?
Please do, sir.
Yeah. Clearly, Mr. Barnali Das mentioned that in the, student who is are in the illusion. So I think that illusion part is clear. So couple of things. One, I think, like Sandeep sir mentioned, it is about exposure. The moment we step into a big library, we realize how little we know. Something like that, if can happen, I think that can help in the child realizing it. And the other is, I think, if we are trying to provide a solution, going to the root of it, which means again redefining the purpose of the child, what he or she wants to do in life. If that clarity can come, I think that will again trigger the growth mindset. If there is a real desire of doing something different from what the person is doing right now, I think that can lead to breaking of the illusion.
Absolutely. Are there any other remarks that you'd like to add based on that?
uh, I am done, Shreya.
Yeah. Um, I don't think I have any remarks to add here. I would just like to add one last thing, is that growth mindset. Um, can also be developed when we create an environment that is that has the growth mindset around us as well. It matters a lot if we have people around us who are supporting, who are encouraging, who are reminding us that mistakes are just a part of learning. And yeah, a safe environment also helps the brain to be more flexible, to grow. So yeah, that is just one point that I wanted to add here.
Great. Thank you so much.
Can I share few lines after listening to your educative comments and the session?
Uh,
If you have got
no,
time, then only I'll speak.
Madam, we will definitely give time to you, but let's first finish up with the questions. Otherwise, then the flow gets disrupted. But your questions are important.
Yes. So I believe that the question was answered very greatly by all three of our panelists, very deep, very briefly. And moving on to the next question that we have by Mr. Kaushik Roy is that one of the ways for success is having focus. How can we develop hyper focus to get success? Requesting the panel members to please answer.
Should I, or Shreya, you had something to say?
No, I think you can begin, then I'll add on.
Sure. Again, I'm going to draw from life of an athlete. I have pretty much, I think I have covered most of what I wanted to say for this question, but I'll just quickly, in 2-3 lines, try to sum it up. One, hyper focus is breaking down the bigger thing into smaller chunks, very, very small chunks. And our ability, once you have broken that, trying to stay in that moment, like a cyclist focuses on one paddle, runner focuses on the next stride, just bring all your energies there. And from what the great Djokovic said, mind will, when you are trying to focus on something, the mind will flow left, right. But to be able to pull those thoughts back with towards the task in hand is is the way to do it. And there are some very simple techniques, like again, for practicing to get to that hyper focus. There are several techniques, like breathing techniques, focusing on your breathing, meditating for 10 minutes. So those are, while we think ki, baith ke kya soch rahe hain, but it is about trying to get your thoughts together, focusing on your breath, 5 seconds at a time, 10 seconds at a time. If you are able to use that as a tool, breathing technique, just focusing on your breathing, sitting still and focusing on your breathing, that ability to bring the thoughts back to the center can help you in developing hyper focus in whatever area or whatever task you're trying to do. Over to you, Shreya.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely very important, as you mentioned about breathing, because a lot of times before getting into the hyper focus part or area of when we are working, it's very important to regulate ourselves, to regulate our emotions. A lot of times we are not able to focus when we are feeling anxious, overwhelmed, tired. And whenever we have these feelings, our mind cannot get into deep focus. So if we are able to regulate our emotions through deep breathing is an excellent exercise. If we inculcate it for even starting 1 minute every day, it's absolutely amazing to manage, to just manage your body, to manage your mind. With that, a lot of times what can also help to regulate yourself is just mindfully walking. Now mindful walking is very simple. It's as simple as when you're walking, you recognize how you notice how your feet is putting on the ground, how your muscles are moving, how your breath is feeling at that time. So even stretching can give us a little shift from focusing on our emotions to getting into a little bit in our mind. I would also like to add one thing here is that a lot of times we cannot get into focus or hyper focus is also because we have a lot on our mind already. Our mind is full. So it's just as I mentioned mentioned before, it's very important to dump our mind. Dump what's everything, all the thoughts that are there onto a paper or anything that helps us. Again, breathing helps a lot here.
On addition to what Jitendra sir and Shreya ma'am has said, I would like to add one more thing. That firstly, as ma'am has mentioned, Shreya ma'am mentioned that we are already overwhelmed with a lot of things in our mind. So just take a break, take a step back. Then the deep breathing, the pranayam, that is absolutely fine. And maybe some stretches, few poses of yoga that to bring the body and the mind together and bring all the freshness and the energy that we require. And then of course practice, and there is something called mindfulness means we teach the children to focus on whatever is going on at the present time without being judgmental. So I'm trying to study, but my mind is wandering here and there. It's okay, I will not be too harsh on myself. So firstly, we have to learn that we are not machines, we are mere human beings, and the feelings, it just comes in our mind, it's very natural. So once we are okay with the feeling, okay with what we do, what we feel, then gradually I believe all the concentration and all, it will come, it has to come. So focus has to be on oneself, just cut off from the entire world and focus, it will definitely come.
Right. So I believe Mr. Kaushik's question has been answered. Start focusing on your breathing. Do breathing exercises regularly. That will help you to increase your focus, along with cutting off distractions and sometimes taking a step back from whatever you're doing. That will really help you to improve your focus. And let's just take one last audience question before we move forward, because I believe we are exhausting the time. The last question that we'll be taking is by Mr. George. It's to Ms. Shreya.
We'll request someone from the event team to please come in and shut the mics.
Right. So the question is, how can one maintain a strong mindset even when they feel everything or everyone is against them? And another thing that they're adding over here is that what if there are real constraints based on one?
Okay. When they feel everyone is and everything is against them, I think when we feel that everything or everyone is against us, one thing that shakes is our sense of inner self, is our inner safety. And a strong mindset at this time, or at any time, I would say, generally does not come from when the world is feeling heavy. It comes from when we are connected to ourselves. So what's really important here is to come back to our inner voice, not the outer noise that's happening around, but to really listen to what's happening inside ourselves. Asking ourselves that what is really happening, or what is it that I need in this moment, and also probably giving ourselves certain affirmation, saying things like,
Can we please have the team to mute the background voices?
Yes. So even saying affirmations to yourself like, I'm doing the best that I can do right now, and this moment will eventually pass. When we actually learn to listen to our own voice, outside noise becomes very quiet, I would say. Also, even if everything is against you, sometimes we do end up isolating ourselves, but try to find even one safe connection at that time. Support system plays a major role in getting out of any difficulty that we might go through in our lives. So even if it is just one safe person, it's going to be really helpful at that time. Even if that is not there, still focusing on maintaining your daily actions, your daily habits in terms of inculcating just Same things like going for a walk or stretching yourself or breathing, journaling, basic things like not missing your food, eating properly, taking a warm shower, anything that helps you manage those difficult emotions as well, because they will come up when you see that nothing is working in my favor. So not missing out on feeling your feelings, as Ma'am Ghosh also said. You know, it's very important to feel your feelings also at this point while regulating them and while balancing them.
Absolutely. And I believe all of this is possible only when one has a lot of inner trust and, when they are very aware and very trustworthy of themselves. I think that is when they do not need anybody else to depend upon, right?
Yeah.
Any other remarks from any of our other panelists? All right. So I believe this was the last one, last audience question that we have taken. And very briefly, before we end up, I'd like to ask all three of our panelists if there's one particular remark, one particular thing that they'd like to tell our audience today, very briefly, if you could, to sum it all up. Starting with Miss Mahua.
Okay, I would just like to tell you all, because there is something, I guess, that not only the students but we all, it's a problem that how we are going to manage so many things, that how you are going to manage your studies, then your personal, maybe your hobbies, and whatever you're doing in your life. So how to have a good management of all the things that you do throughout the day. That is, we need to be mentally sane, at the same time physically healthy, and at the same time scoring and competitive, though the term doesn't sound very good, but it is what the society wants us to do, isn't it? So this mental sanity and mental clarity is very, very essential. So the most important thing is effective time management. So we must all focus on what to do with our time. So if we have a fixed schedule for the day, that I get up at, this is today's Sunday, so today I was also a little late. That's okay. It's sometimes okay to fail, but there should be a fixed routine that you get up at this time of the day, you do your chores, then you get ready for whatever work you're going for, your tuition, you're going for your school, you're going for your classes, you come back, again your schedule, and always find some me time. That is very essential, that we need to give ourselves time, we need to love ourselves, we need to feel our feelings, again and again I'm repeating, because that is very essential. So prioritize your time, that what you're going to do when, and do it very, very effectively. And sometimes when we fail, it's okay, don't scold yourself, don't be too harsh. That's all.
Absolutely. Very well noted, ma'am. Thank you so much. Followed by Mr. Joshi. Your remarks?
Um, uh, I would say talent is overrated. Everything is possible through training. Develop an athlete's mindset that if you train, it's possible. Discipline is actually freedom. That's all I would say.
Absolutely. Great, sir. Followed by Ms. Malhotra. Your remarks?
Yeah, I think I just want to leave with one reminder, and that is that we don't have to have everything figured out right now. And truly, a lot of us really do not have it till now as well. We are all learning on our way, we are all understanding ourselves better, and we are all dealing with things no one else sees. So it's very important to be a little softer with ourselves, a little kinder with ourselves. It's okay to not be always strong or productive or perfect. We are human and we are allowed to feel all our emotions, and we are allowed to have bad days, confused days, slow days. Anything that matters to you, that is all that matters to you. So, yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. So as we come to the close of today's webinar, I want to take a moment to reflect on what all of us have learned. This conversation has personally shown me that emotional well-being isn't something very abstract or distant. It's actually a daily practice, a skill that we build through awareness, balance, compassion for ourselves as well as others. And of course, our panelists have added a unique layer to this understanding. Miss Mahua Ghosh highlighted the role of schools and educators in creating a safe, nurturing spaces for young minds. Mr. Joshi brought in the strength of sportsmanship, showing how resilience and teamwork can guide us through difficult challenges. And Ms. Shreya helped us connect all of this back to our personal journeys, encouraging us to understand, express, and embrace our emotions with full confidence. And to everybody listening, my message to you is very simple, is that your feelings are valid, your well-being matters, and small steps can make a big difference. Be patient with yourself, check in with the people around you, and remember that growth is a process. It's not a race. Thank you so much for being part of this meaningful conversation, and I hope you carry its positivity forward into your everyday life.
I,
And
I, I wanted to come in for two things, yeah, with your permission. I've got one small question for you.
okay.
That at such a young age, and at when people grapple with life in class 12, although very frankly, no one asks us when you grow up, no one really bothers about how much you scored. But being in 12th, how come you're such a positive person? I think I'd like to have two words, and the second is there's a feedback form. Request all our audience to please fill it up. And third is Diya, Mrs. Banerjee wanted to say something, so let her. So after
Few
you,
lines only.
Mrs. Banerjee can begin
Listening
now.
to all the panelists, the educative thoughts, listening to their educative thoughts, I am also working on it. I just want to share few lines about it. That should I speak or do you have time?
Absolutely, please, ma'am.
Okay. Now, good upbringing and proper education contribute towards shaping the future of a child. Raising children is one of the most rewarding and difficult things in our life. Young children learn to communicate and develop motor skills. In this regard, family has the most important part in the development of a child. A child's learning and socialization and most influenced by their family, since the family is child's primary social group. Child's development happen physically, emotionally, socially, and intellectually during this time. As a parent, we influence child's basic values like religious values, issues related to their future like educational choices. We can help the child to manage and control his behavior by taking about how behavior affects other people. One should talk more with the child about the differences between right and wrong behavior. It is good to include the child in family discussions, talk openly, give input into family decisions, positive views, and the expectations from those. Those are the good ways of helping the child understand and how people can get along with others and work together. First 5 years of life are important for the development of a child. Early child development sets the foundation for lifelong learning. The experience they have in early age shapes the brain and his capacity to learn or to get along with others and to respond to daily stresses and challenges. Childhood has an effect on our adulthood. Our early experience shape our belief about ourselves and the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, Diya, I asked you a question on how you are so positive and how you are so
Sir, I'd say the entire credit goes to my family for that because ever since I was very little, I don't think they've ever tried to restrict me of anything. They've always been very supportive of whatever I wish to do, and I've always personally had this very open connection with my parents. You know, they've always talked me through things, and they've always motivated and encouraged me to do whatever it is that I wish to do. And I think that is something that has helped me be very positive in life. They constantly keep guiding me. They have open talks with me, and yeah, I believe that's the sole reason. And
Great.
I am very happy that you feel that way. You know, all the credit goes to them for that.
Thank you. And this is for the young parents and the old parents also to take a leaf from what Diya said, I think, and what Madam Banerjee said. Diya, I'll request you to kindly close the uh, seminar, webinar.
Right. So again, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
everybody.
everyone.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Sandeep sir and Sweet Diya and Jitendra sir and Shreya ma'am and Ranjana ma'am. Had a lovely time and learned so many things. It had been very, very interactive. Thanks a lot.
And I can tell you that this Mind Matter is going to be a sequel. We will try to do it as almost every month on different topics. It's something that is extremely close to our hearts. We'll need your feedback for that on how you felt, because that's what's going to help us devise the next program much better without any technical glitch, I assure you. So, thank you so much for taking our time. Really grateful. And uh, Dia, you are awesome. That's all I can say. The
Thank you
panelists
so
are
much.
awesome anyway. Shreya, wonderful meeting up with you, and I'll be in touch with you for the next seminar. Mr. Joshi, what a pleasure it has been. I'll be in touch with you. Madam Ghosh, your inspiring words have really given light to a whole lot of people on how they should go ahead. Thank you so much for being a part. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for the audience.
Thank you so much for the kind words, sir. Thank you to all